Hello, kia ora, namaste, maloele le talo falava, bula vanaka, and welcome to the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament coming to you live from Colmar Sports Centre here in Papatoetoe, Auckland. My name is Brad Pittman and I'll be here to take you through the action from the final game of the day, which sees the Maori Tāne taking on the New Zealand Pasifika men. Now, both teams unfortunately already out of contention for tomorrow's final, which will be contested by the New Zealand Development side and the New Zealand Indian men's side. So this game will take on a grudge match between Pacific brothers and our Maori brothers, and a lot of these players playing a lot together and against each other, so a lot of pride on the line, and it's certainly something that the Maori team spoke about this morning. Unfortunately, the Maori team will be without their captain Tinga Rangitoira, but will be led by Tūwharetoa Hapi today. Equally, the Pasifika men will be without Aidan Fraser. Now, I'm joined on the call by Kahuripia, the long-time chairman of New Zealand Maori Hockey and Kaumatua. Kia ora.
No, kia ora, Brad. Awesome to be back. It's going to be an exciting game. Both teams traditionally play with a lot of flair. Unfortunately, Tinga can't be here. He's gone up to Aotearoa on the top of the East Coast to his grandfather's unveiling. So, obviously our aroha goes with him in the whānau for this day, and looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game out here. Like I said, just because either team are out of the contention, I don't think it's going to lose any of its excitement as a game. And you'll see here as the Māori team prepare for their haka, the lineup for today's game. Just keep an eye on Jordan Thomas, who did create a couple of opportunities going forward yesterday. Despite not being able to convert, he will look to lead the charge.
Tuturangira Rahuruhi leading the haka for the Māori team. Traditional haka, kamate kamate. They revved it up. Right at the front. Scott Wolf and Ethan Hurley to the sides. Well done.
And you can obviously see how much this game is going to mean to these boys. Unable to get a win on the board so far in the tournament. They will be playing for mana and for pride, and both teams certainly, though they cannot make tomorrow's final, will be playing for a lot of pride as we see the Pasifika men's side. As I did say, we will be without Aidan Fraser today, but keep an eye on a couple of midfielders that have been impressive with the Pasifika side, and Jacob Suchun and Luke Aldred. Now, they've played a fair bit of hockey together coming up through Waikato age groups and now playing for East Coast Bays together. They will be influential in putting their authority on the midfield of the Pasifika side. Now, we still have Stu Pitu at the back, and he will be as calm and cool as ever. Just of note for the New Zealand Māori team, Ngātana Waka will start in goal and get his first start for the tournament. We really want to look to Tūwharetoa Hapi to lead the team from the back. As said earlier, he has been appointed the captain of the match in Tinga Rangitoira's absence, so it will be a big role for him today, and a lot of pride on the line for Tūwharetoa. As the game kicks off here, we do get first position through the Māori men's team, and just a little miscommunication and overrun there by Tiharaka Chase. We'll give possession back to the Pasifika men through Xander Fraser. Now, unfortunately, we are missing Aidan Fraser, but Xander is still out there today, and Luke Aldred playing with Stu Pitu at the back to begin this game. Luke Aldred there on the ball. Does have a good go forward and does have an overhead ball as Nick Parata just dispossesses Peter Falstead. And Stephen Atkinson, who we talked about a lot yesterday, Kahu, already getting his touch on the ball.
Yep, no, he's really matured in his play, Stephen, and he's been acquitting himself well in the last couple of days with a well-deserved goal yesterday evening, as the Māoris come into the Pasifika D, pressurising. Yeah,
Yeah, and that on the ball is Jordan Thomas, who I did speak of in the call. You know, he's been growing as a player over this tournament, and it'll be exciting to see him come forward and use his skill to try and begin the goal-scoring exploits of the New Zealand Maori team.
Yeah, we're back down to halfway. I see Dylan Thomas is right in the middle there, and being supported by Tutarangi Rahuruhi, going down that right-hand flank into the Maori D now. Put a bit of pressure on, and well defended.
Yeah, that's Jan Peterson there, who just picked up the overhead ball of Luke Aldred. Now, I spoke about how influential Luke is likely to be in this game, and we can already see his hands all over their go-forward distribution. So don't expect that to stop anytime soon, as Stephen Atkinson does just survey his option forward and chooses the aerial route as well. Unfortunately there for the Pasifika men's side, we just saw Stu Pitu get a little bit too close to Hedawini Iverson as he attempted to pull the ball under control. The Māori men still have the possession through Hedawini and will win another free hit on the edge of the circle.
The Māori men looking to try and get the ball right into the D, add a bit more pressure. Back and around we go. Yep, pressure still on.
Yeah, ball still with the Māori side with Mitchell Murray there, as he looks to link up with Tutarangi Rahuruhi, who has unfortunately let the ball hit his foot there. Now we'll really look for Tutarangi Rahuruhi to lead the striker group today. You know, he will fire up for an occasion like this game. He's the sort of player that plays well in big games, so expect to see something special from Tutarangi today, as the Pasifika men just look forward through Luke Aldred again.
I have seen glimpses of bounce in the pitch from time to time, Brad. Whether it's my aging eyes, I'm not too sure, but yeah, there are areas that where guys are firmly placed, but the ball seems to be bouncing up a bit.
Yeah, it's it's probably just a little bit of fatigue sitting in the ball, just not quite sticking on the stick, and just little things that are creeping into day 3 of tournament hockey, as we do see Steve Atkinson just push forward with the ball. He's looking for Billy Muskimmin, but unable to find him. This is Stu Pitu on the ball. He'll go into the midfield where he finds Xander Fraser, who has been good this weekend, but just unable to key in. A little bit of a miscommunication between he and Armani Punga there at left half.
Uncharacteristic at the moment, Brad. The Pasifika, a few turnovers, and it's enabled the Māori team to sort of camp in their half for the last couple of minutes.
Yes, we do see Jordan Thomas come through with the ball, unable to go any further than Luke Aldred, as Xander Fraser does attempt to clean up. And they'll play small game between he, Stu, and as we come around here to yesterday's goal scorer, Zach Buenamasi. Pretty average looking tackle there, unfortunately, by Mitch Murray. Does give possession back to Buenamasi. He finds Jake Su-Chun and Xander Fraser in the midfield. So, yeah, I think you speak of uncharacteristic mistakes from the Pasifika side. I think they will be missing Aiden Fraser, who did play at the back for them in the first 2 games, as he isn't playing in this match. But they'll still look to go forward through the likes of Xander Fraser, Stu Pitu there, and link up with, of course, Jan Peterson, their captain. There's Dylan Thomas. He just has a little opportunity to come forward.
It's a stick check there.
It's fantastic defensive work there from Stu Pitu to get back in the picture. Yeah, as much as Xander Fraser wants to plead there, we had a pretty good view of it. It definitely did come from his stick up into his body. So Umpire David Oakley, with the help of Brendan Duckworth, getting the right call as we see this bit of defensive work here by Stu Pitu. Never gives up on the play here, and as well as Jordan Thomas does, just lifts his stick off the ball for a little too long, and Stu able to get the touch in here as we see the penalty corner. Does bounce up off the stick of Xander Fraser. Now as we get back to some live action, Tuturangi Rahuruhi will come down to inject the ball. Jacob Belkake is set up at the top of the bracket, as well as Stephen Atkinson.
I like the play of Dylan Thomas right there and then Brad unselfishly just laid off where he could have probably done it himself.
Yeah, it's a sign of an experienced player, giving the ball to people in better positions than themselves. And as we see the penalty corner flick from Jacob Belkake just not find its intended target. Jacob is a very good exponent of the high drag flick, and probably just not quite getting it on the end of his stick there and where he wanted it to go. But it's an opportunity for the Maori men, not one that was executed perfectly, but an opportunity nonetheless, as Steve Atkinson just happy to roll the ball back out to Shaden Kalks, who finds Dylan Thomas with a great ball. Yeah, David Oakley just not happy with the Pasifika men's player, just coming through the back of the stick of Dylan Thomas there. He'll say he got the ball, but a poor entry on the tackle as Shaden Kalks just looks forward to Tuturangi Rahuruhi, but that pass is intercepted by Luke Aldred, who comes forward down the left-hand side of the field at pace. He's a talented player, but cleaned up well by Shaden and by Steve Atkinson, and they find Dylan Thomas in the middle of the field. Would have liked to open up the other side of the field, but just no players out there for him.
Shaden hasn't had much game time, Brad, but he seems to be acquitting himself well at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good solid player there, and good physical presence, good Wanganui boy, so he won't be afraid of the physical players in this Pasifika men's side. His first couple of touches on the ball have been quality.
Yep, you've got to give credit to the Pasifika team at the moment. They've been under a fair bit of pressure and been able to survive with all the attacks the Maori team are throwing at them at the moment as we head down that left flank towards the Maori goal this time. Yes,
Peter Falstead on the ball. He's been good for the Pasifika side. He does earn a free hit just outside the circle. Good to see Hoya Timutai Ngātai back on the field today for the New Zealand Māori men's side. Didn't play yesterday, just had a minor injury. So good to see him back out there in the absence of Tingarangi Tauira. That ball has come onto the foot there of one of the Pasifika men's side.
Yeah, both really great servants for Māori hockey, Hoite and Tinga. They're missing Tinga, but they seem to be doing all right at the moment.
Yeah, we're on here through Hedawini Iverson, who just unable to make it past Stu Pitu. Does get the ball back, though, and will hope to find his brother in Taimana Iverson out on the ball there now.
Taimana looking for a 1-2 there.
Yeah, and that's Rani Harris, who's put a little bit of pressure on Peter Falstead on the way out, but Jan Pedersen will win possession and will go forward quickly, trying to catch the Māori team. And that's Jake Suchun with a fantastic little bit of stick work. Finds Adrian Smith, just unable to pull it down clean, and it is tidied up there by young Hemi Hickson at the back for the New Zealand Māori team. This is Hemi coming forward, working in with Jacob Belkake.
He'll be happy with his tournament, Hemi. He's really developing and he's quite a big boy as well,
Still very young, part of the New Zealand Māori under-21 team set up as well for this season. So, he's getting an opportunity here. As we spoke about yesterday, Kahu was some of the more senior members of the side not able to make the weekend trip.
That's right.
So awesome to see, young Hemi has had a great tournament in his first outing for the New Zealand Māori team.
That's right. I see Taimana Iverson is the same. They've grown in confidence with each game, and all goes well for their future.
Yeah, as Zach Burnamasi just finds Luke Aldred in the middle of the field for the Pasifika men's side. We've a little over 10 minutes through this quarter, and no score as of yet. A couple of opportunities either way. As the New Zealand Māori men just happy to play a half-court press here and just sit in their midfield, not allow the Pasifika men's team to come through the middle of the park, which is something they struggled with over the last couple of days, is midfield dominance. So look to see that as Pasifika men's team finds Sammy Hewitt, but he's unable to go any further than Tufari Hapi and Steve Atkinson, who worked the ball to Dylan Thomas.
Pacifica did show a little bit of patience there, Brad. It's just unfortunate that that last hit went astray. But Maori have the ball now. We're coming down through the middle, back and around.
Yeah, I like the intent from the New Zealand Maori men's side. You know, they've struggled through the first two games, and it's easy to go into your shell after two losses. But they are still really pushing and really fighting in this third game here. As we see Adrian Smith just play the ball forward into the goal of Ngātana Waka. Not judged dangerous by Brent Duckworth, but that one is a little awry shot there by Peter Falstead, just contested by Hoi Te Mitai Ngātai, and it's Te Hiraka chase on the ball.
Yeah, both teams have similar styles there, Brad. I think they're just sort of setting themselves up until, we see a bit of flair come out. They're still sussing each other out, I think.
Yeah,
Being careful about how they go about their business.
It is. Neither team have really, over-pushed yet, as they both just assess and see how this game is likely to roll. You know, both teams missing players that were fairly key in the way they've played the first two games. So we just see them just surveying the first quarter.
Bit of a loose pass there, gives possession back to the Pacifica team.
And that's Xander Fraser on the ball. He's been impressive for the Pacifica men so far, and obviously his father Kevin Fraser has been influential in putting both Pacifica hockey and this tournament together. So it'll be awesome for them to see A, this tournament come to fruition, but B, his son's playing so well for this Pacifica men's side.
I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin many years ago, Brad, in Fiji, 2009, the Pacific Cup tournament, and since then we visited Fiji about 4 times over the years, and when the Pacific Cup faded away, Kevin came to New Zealand. We've been in talks for a number of years now about putting something like this together, and it's great for these two teams to be playing each other tonight. It's been a long time coming.
Absolutely, it's really important for both our Maori and our Pacific Island associations to be able to hold this event, and it's something I'm sure that we will continue to do as hockey in our Indigenous communities just continues to grow. As we do see a good little bit of defensive work there from Stu Pitu. Unfortunately throws it a wee bit ahead of Adrian Smith, who though is fast, certainly isn't that fast. It's awesome that we've been able to make these connections with people like Kevin Kahu in putting an event like this together, and long may it continue.
Well, the reason for this tournament is to show off, our Indigenous players, and with that we have two teams like these two here. They come with that different flavour of play. Instead of it being so structured, they just go with their natural flair and what they see in front of them.
Yeah, it's a good little bit of clean-up work there by Julius Talavau on Jacob Balkake. Absolutely, I think we part of the reason we love this matchup is how exciting it is when these players play with flair. We've got a good crowd around here, and I think they expect nothing less than to see that free-flowing, eyes-up hockey that is so exciting to watch. So I'm sure as this quarter continues and the game carries on, more of that play will happen as the game opens up, like we saw in the women's game just previous, which was won in the dying minutes by the New Zealand Maori Wahine team. Hemi Hickson winning his team a penalty there. Some good defensive work. He's a long guy, so really helps his defensive work when he can stay in tackles like that. But the Māori men will try and come forward here with Dylan Thomas. It's already obvious, Kahu, how vocal and loud it is on the turf, both from the players but also from the dugouts, as both teams really will their team to win and play with pride out here.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Even though it may appear to be a sort of a nothing type of game, there's still a lot of mana at stake, passion, you name it. It's all there still. Obviously these people love the game, and it's a good spectacle. There's a fair crowd here this evening, and they're not being disappointed. That's for sure.
Yeah, we just saw a good little clearing play there by Zach Buenamasi. And this is Jacob Suchun, who I did mention in the earlier broadcast. Very talented player. He will be gearing up for a North versus South under-21s game a little later in the month, as well as guys like Dylan Thomas from the New Zealand Maori side. And this is Peter Falstead just taking on Rani Harris, who does have penalty advantage. But the ball falls to Jacob Balkake, who just finds Jordan Thomas, who had been back doing some defensive work. Important for a striker to play both sides of the ball, so it's great to see Geordie back there helping his team out.
I had a brief chat with Dylan this morning, Brad. You know, obviously mindful of the fact that he's in contention to go to Tokyo, and he's looking at the challenge as being one of the best of his lifetime. So, and this is helping in his preparation.
Yes, we see some really tidy skills there from Tuterangi Rahuruhi. They're just unable to get past the last defender in Stu Pitu, but this is Dylan Thomas, who we just spoke of. And again, Stu Pitu does some fantastic clean-up work to end the quarter. An exciting quarter. No goals on the board just yet as we bring the first quarter to an end between the New Zealand Maori Tāne and the New Zealand Pasifika men. As mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this is the last game of the third day, and we do have finals day tomorrow. Unfortunately, both of these teams already ruled out of contention for tomorrow's final, but certainly a lot of pride on the line as the New Zealand Maori Tāne look to pick up their first win of the tournament, and the New Zealand Pasifika men look to continue their improvement through the tournament and upset their New Zealand brothers. So as we look at the One Foundation replay here, this is a fantastic attacking opportunity through Dylan Thomas, who just rolled the ball to Jordan Thomas. And unfortunately there, as all coaches say, when you're in the circle, don't take your stick off the ball, keep the ball on the end of your stick, and he's just guilty there of trying to wind up for that final shot. And Stu Pitu, as he has done a lot in this game, cleans up. And this is attacking penalty corner. We'll go to the bracket one for Jacob Balkake. Just doesn't get hold of it, unfortunately, and Buenamasi there are able to just defend his line. The Pasifika men had their opportunities too. This is Sam Hewitt on the ball going forward and opening up an option through Adrian Smith, who I've been impressed with this weekend, forcing the save from Ngātanawaka and nearly a shot from Peter Falstead, if not for the defensive work of Hoi Timitai Ngātai. And that's our replays for the first quarter. Now, as we see the Māori team talk there, Kahu, what do you expect Boss Edmonds to be saying to his team?
Oh, pretty much, stick to what they're doing at the moment. Be patient in a few areas, but just move the ball, and play what's in front of you. Adrian Smith, he's been around for a while. I remember Adrian when we used to go to Fiji, and it's good to see him again. He'd be one of the senior players for the Pacifica team. So looking forward to this second quarter.
Yeah, you're right. Adrian Smith, a current member of the Fijian national men's side, and playing his club hockey down in Canterbury at the moment. So you're right, great to see him here. I think what will please Boss Edmonds the most, and certainly the team, is they spoke about this morning not conceding early, not giving up an early goal and an early lead, and both games so far they have conceded in the first quarter. So to get out of that one with probably the share of the attacking opportunity will be pleasing. They've started better than they had in the last 2 days, but it is the Pasifika side coming forward here through Jacob Suchun. They look like they've turned up the heat a little bit, and no surprises through Coach Brett Lever, who will be expecting a lot out of his team. And he's not the sort of player that will be happy with them just playing for nothing. So they will keep pushing forward. Steve Atkinson does clean up there and will earn a free hit for his troubles.
This is probably a prelude for tomorrow anyway, Brad. The teams will face each other tomorrow for third and fourth position. And, obviously this is looking pretty good at the moment. Tomorrow will probably be even a better spectacle.
Yeah, you're right there. Kahu, as Jan Peterson just dispossesses Billy Muskimmin and finds, I believe, Adam Kailea going forward. He'll pick up Jan, and they will earn themselves a penalty corner. And the work there through Adam Kailea and Jan Peterson, as I said, looks like the Pasifika men have just turned up the heat here at the beginning of the second quarter. And I talked about good starts, but the Maori Tāne will not want to concede here and get behind on the scoreboard early.
Maori hockey have been really lucky over the years. You know, we've had two great stalwarts in goalkeepers at Harley Cooper and Natana Waka. And, you know, the efforts they're putting in at the present tournament really belies their ages. You know, they've been around for a long time. And it's just their definite commitment to not only Māori hockey, but, you know, their position in the goal. They take it really, really seriously, and good on them.
Yeah, we've got Luke Aldred on the bracket here, and he's a fantastic drag flicker. This will be a danger.
Oh.
Yeah, as I said, a good flicker of the ball, Luke Aldred, and he has found the gap between the feet of Ngātana Waka, unfortunately, as we see the Wound Foundation replay. Solo bracket up the top. Jan Peterson to trap him. He's a good trapper of the ball, and that, unfortunately, just too fast there for Ngātana Waka. Luke Aldred, a good flicker of the ball, and puts the Pasifika men up 1-0 early in the second quarter.
And Ngātana won't be happy with that. You know, he takes his position seriously, and you feel like he's let the team down, but you just got to move on. And yeah, good goal by the Pasifika team. As the Māori have possession at the moment, and obviously wanting to come back and rectify that goal.
Yeah, as Opiti Tuimana just picked Steve Atkinson well there. Unfortunately for the Pasifika men's side, can't make anything more of it, but you know what's been done has been done. They do find themselves down one goal, and what will be important now is how they react to it. In previous games, the Māori men have been unable to answer back immediately and have actually conceded the second goal as well. So how they face this deficit here will go a long way into telling how they finish this game. As Tūwharetoa Hapi does look long, and they will get the ball off a touch from the Pasifika men's side.
Obviously, there's still a long way to go in this game, Brad. But you know, and it's anybody's game at this stage. It's you know pretty much an even keel. Both sides have been pressurising, defending, setting up play. You know, so it's been a full length of the turf type of setup for both teams.
Yeah, and as you speak of that, we do come forward through Tūtarangi Rauhuruhi. Billy Muskimen unable to pull the ball in there for the Māori men. But yes, both teams with their opportunities, both teams still very much in this game. We've got a long way to go yet, as Stu Pidu does just assess what's happening in front of him. The Māori men just happy to play in a three-quarter press at the moment and still protecting the middle. We see Hedawini Iverson coming to put a little bit of pressure on Luke Aldred here, and it's worked with Jordan Thomas coming away with the ball. He does find Hedawini Iverson. Hueti Mitainato on the ball. Just happy to go back to Te Hiraka Chase. We see Hedawini Iverson up on the baseline here for the Māori men. And despite his best pleads there, Tūtarangi Rauhuruhi not awarded the penalty corner from umpire David Oakley. He thought he may have rolled it in behind young Buenamasi out there, but not enough to warrant the corner. Mitch Murray on the ball there for the Māori team. He's being harassed there by Xander Fraser, who comes away with the ball.
Yeah, no, that's good defence. Good defence now there. They're setting themselves up, the Pasifika team.
Yeah, that's
good pressure by the Māori team. You know, like I say, it's you know, it's a great spectacle at the moment. Pressure's on all the time.
Yeah, it is, and good bit of pressure there, as you say, from Jordan Thomas. Now, Stupid who just looks at Luke Aldred at the back, and Luke just able to pick his pass option, and that's a fantastic overhead pass to Jacob Suchun, who keeps the ball in the field of play. But only as far as Rani Harris there. Rani, of course, a member of the Tamaki Makoto Māori hockey team. It's Te Hiraka Chase putting a little bit of snow on that one. Not getting the distance he wanted, but certainly the height. As Stupidu comes forward with the ball, and he's got Taiman Iverson on him. And this is Julius Talavau, just happy to play the ball back to Luke Aldred. Stupidu lining up Calvin Radabuli there, unable to find that control. We do have Shaden Kalks back on the field. It's Te Hiraka Chase just playing the ball forward there. Not taken down cleanly by Mitch Murray.
Yep, they've been awarded a PC. Well done, taking it right to the baseline and pulling in the defenders, able to get a PC out of that.
Yeah, that's Adam Kailea again, who did earn the last penalty corner, as we see on the One Foundation replay. Just not taken in cleanly there by Mitch Murray and Xander Fraser through Jacob Suchun, able to find Kailea here just outside the circle, and he does head for the baseline where he has found some success, and it's just back up onto the foot of Rani Harris, and the Pasifika men will have another penalty corner. And as we set up live here, Jan Peterson will trap. We do have Luke Aldred again on the bracket, and I have already spoken about his drag flicking ability.
Tahirika chased the first one out there, and the ball goes over the top. It's what you call a back stick, everybody, and it's where you use the other side of the stick on the left-hand side. And he's cleared the fence, and unfortunately, it sounded like it made contact with one of the vehicles outside.
Yeah, not sure if you can hear that live on the feed, but that does sound like vehicle, unfortunately.
Oh, check my car's out there. I hope it wasn't mine.
Yeah, as they say in backyard cricket, I think 6 and out. But the Pasifika men with possession, just on halfway there with Stu Patuhi. We'll look for Luke Aldred, who did sky that reverse stick shot. Unlike him, he has had a couple of those in the tournament already where he opts not to flick and turns it onto his reverse stick, and none of them coming out quite like that. But so he'll be disappointed.
By Taimana Iverson.
Yeah, he's got Jordan Thomas going forward ahead of him.
Get down the right hand edge. Well done.
Will do enough to keep possession. Of course, Taimana Iverson, Hedawini Iverson, and Jordan Thomas play their Maori hockey together for Tamaki Makoto. And there's Tirika Chase with the ball, who links up with Hui Timitai Ngātai. He puts Jan Peterson on skates there, but Jan does enough to pick him back. So we'll call it 1-1. Hoiti with the ball. That is Jordan Thomas.
Long penalty. Stick check there.
You can hear how vocal it is already, and umpire Bren Duckworth expecting everyone to be 5 yards. Tirika Chase happy to have the ball at the back, and Steve Atkinson has a look at the circle. A fantastic tackle out there by Adrian Smith, down on his knees and with one hand.
Yeah, well, the flow of the game it's actually quickened up. I believe, Brad, and everybody's really on the ball now. This game has gone to another level.
Yeah, I think as we see the Pasifika men's side look to extend their lead, and the Maori men, trying to equalise, both teams looking to push a little bit more. They want to do as much work here as possible to make the third and fourth quarters a little easier, because both teams will be playing under fatigue come the third and fourth quarters.
Hoi te mitai Ngātai, as strong as ever in the midfield.
Yeah, he's helped in there by Mitch Murray, who's on the ball, and just rolls it out to Stephen Atkinson.
Maori's pressurising again down the right-hand edge. Great tackle.
It's phenomenal work there by Stu Pitu. He's been probably one of the best here for the Pasifika men in terms of the defensive effort, as he does chase down Steve Atkinson, and both Stu Pitu and Steve Atkinson play their club hockey in Hamilton. Stu for the Collegians Club and Stephen for Te Awa Mutu, so they will have had some battles in their time in the club competition, and Stu just showing his experience and expertise there in his defensive efforts, as Steve Atkinson does come out under the pressure of Whitu Nokisi.
Yes, we come down this left-hand edge now. Great defence by both teams. The flair that we were expecting is not so relevant at the moment because the defence is so tight.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Hoi Timitai Ngātai. Just a little wayward backstick pass there. Just going through traffic, and we'll give the Pasifika men the ball back as we see nearing into 5 minutes left in the second quarter. The New Zealand men just happy to soak up the Māori men happy to soak up some pressure here. You're not pressing out on these outletters just yet until they pick their moments, and a lot of it will come from communication at the back. Expect Tūwharetoa happy to be leading that.
It appeared to be, Brad, in terms of basketball terms, like a zone defence. Everybody picking up spots just to stop the congestion in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I talked about, there will be fatigue, and zonal marking certainly helps with reducing the effects of fatigue as opposed to trying to chase people around, as we do see Xander Fraser win possession and Sammy Hewitt have a shot attempt, but it is cleaned up there by Hemi Hickson. Hemi Hickson coming forward with some pace will find Hoete Matainatai and Jordan Thomas. There's a great little receive there, and probably unfortunate that he won the first free hit and not the second one, because the second one may have been inside the circle, but first free hit is blown, and the Māori men will remain in possession. Neither team really looking to jump on the ball there, and it all looked to go slow motion for a couple of moments there.
I think everybody got called ball watching then, Brad.
Yes. Yeah, I think all surprised that it had got through, and it just rolled its way into goalkeeper Grasic, and he rolled its way back out again. Neither team showing enough urgency to make of it what they needed to, but unfortunately there, Jacob Belkake just misfired on his shot, and Pasifika men do have possession back through Stu Pitu. If they can access the right-hand side of this field, they do have players in space out here, but Xander Fraser just roll on the ball and will attempt to take on Dylan Thomas. Yeah, happy to find Stu Pitu and Jake Suchun, who, as I said, has players on the right-hand side, but that's picked up well by Billy Miskimen, who finds Dylan Thomas coming forward, who can be a very dangerous player if he finds the edge of the circle. First shot, incredible shot and great save by Callum Grasic. Second one a little bit wayward and does hit Luke Aldred in the body for the Pasifika men, so well umpired there by David Oakley. But like I said, very dangerous player Dylan Thomas can be.
Yes, he questioned that call to the ref, mimicking something he wasn't happy about. But that was great defence by the Pasifika team, as we actually head right down the other end. It's been a turnover, fortunately, for the Maori team, and Tūwharetoa is wanting to set it up, so we come back.
A bit of a miss
of pushes, but
bit of a misfire there, but it does fall to
possession of the ball.
It does fall to Hoete, and he has found Hemi Hickson. Tuturangi will want to come forward with the ball. He's found Hirawini Iverson, and Jacob Belkake just linking in on the far side. Yeah, unfortunately for Hirawini Iverson, probably spent too much time appealing for the penalty corner and not enough time getting set for the next shot, which did come through Tuturangi Rahuhi and has hit Hirawini up in the shoulder. Unfortunately, we've just got to keep playing until that whistle does go, because there was definitely an opportunity there on the second shot, but just not able to be taken as Billy Miskimen attempts to intercept, but the ball will stay with Julius Talavau for the Pasifika men's side. He's content just to roll it back out to Luke Aldred, who finds Stu Pitu on the other side of the field. And you can see up the front, Peter Falstead has found himself in some space, but Xander does find Peter, as mentioned, in some space there. Good bit of defensive work from Hemi Hickson on Falstead.
Good defence there from the Māori team. Yeah, Hemi Hickson was instigator of that, and we can sigh a breath of relief again as the Māori team bring the ball down the right-hand edge.
Yeah, they've come down this right-hand side a lot.
That's a good little 2-1.
Hoete finds Tuturangi, and Tuturangi unfortunately finds his foot. Yeah, Hoete and Tuturangi playing a lot of hockey together through the Aces Club, through Waiariki Māori Hockey, through New Zealand Māori Hockey. They'll have a good connection here together as Tuturangi comes forward again with the ball. He did promise some fireworks this morning. Unfortunately, Jacob Belkake just not quite getting himself in enough on that far post to put away the Tuturangi Rahuruhi cross.
Just in this one half, Brad, it's good to see that the Māori team in particular are being able to put so many shots on the goal, which hasn't been so apparent in the previous 2 games. So, it all goes well for the second half. This is a really entertaining game.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be pleased with the improvement, especially on the attacking end, as we do close out the second quarter of hockey in the final game of the day for Day 3 at the inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. I'm joined here by Kahu Ripi as we go into half-time. I think you'll agree, Kahu, that the Māori team will be pleased with their improvements, especially going forward in attack. They've created more opportunities than they probably had in the first 2 games already this half. And Coach Boss Edmonds will be expecting just a little bit better execution going forward, and if they are to penetrate this Pasifika men's defence. What have you been most impressed with in the improvement from the Māori side?
Well, ball retention in particular, being able to stay patient and move the ball around. The energy is good, the energy rate is good, and being a lot more positive and getting right down and pressurising the Pasifika defence and shots on goal. I think we've had about half a dozen in that half, which is probably half a dozen more than they've had in the previous 2 games. And that's been a highlight to me. Pasifika are very similar, and both coaches will be probably wanting their teams to continue in the same vein. There are a few loose passes happening, but not as evident as in previous games. And just keep the ball to themselves, set up a bit more constructiveness, and then it's still early days, and it's only 1-0.
Yeah, we're locked into a real arm wrestle here between the New Zealand Pasifika men and the New Zealand Māori men, and this will be the goal to Luke Aldred that puts the Pasifika men ahead. He goes hard and he goes straight, and it is through the feet of Ngātana Waka. That goal there proving to be the difference so far on the scoreboard. Now, both teams, as Kahu alluded to, have had their opportunities, and the Māori men will be buoyed with confidence after a much improved performance after the last 2 games, albeit in a game that has come a little too late in tournament for them. But they are attacking with a bit of flair now, and it's exciting to see both sides go forward and attack, and there's I think still plenty of opportunity left in this game. Now, as we just see the second half of these highlights, thanks to One Foundation, Dylan Thomas has been fantastic coming forward for the New Zealand Māori team, and he gets a shot away there. Unfortunately, the second one not as high quality, but look for him to really spark between he and Tutirangi Rahuruhi, who is on the ball here, and unfortunately unable to link up with Jacob Alkake. I think if Dylan and Tutirangi can link up going into the attacking circle for the New Zealand Māori men, can cause some real problems. Now, it looks as though both teams potentially looking at a goalkeeper change. Harley Kopa will come on for the New Zealand Māori men in place of Ngātana Waka. Now, for those of you who don't know Harley, probably haven't spent much time around a hockey turf in New Zealand. He's a real character of New Zealand hockey and a stalwart of New Zealand Māori hockey, representing Tāmaki Makaurau for many, many years, and certainly serving the New Zealand Māori men's team well. He will come into goal, and he's a big physical presence, a great communicator and great leader who will help Tūwharetoa in his job captaining the side from the back. And for the New Zealand Pasifika team, it looks like we may get a first look at Antonio Teleai, who is warming up in the goal at the moment. We haven't seen much of him yet in this tournament, if any. Callum Grassick has been in goal for the Pasifika men's side for the first 2 games, so we look to see his first match of the tournament in the second half. Now, as the teams are in their huddles there, you can see the Pasifika men very separate in their team talks, and very apparent that Brett Lever, their coach, who is a defensive juggernaut in his time with the New Zealand team, talking to his defensive group. And looks like Adrian Smith leading the attackers conversation currently. So look to see what improvements they make, both in attack and defence, through these conversations here. And Brett, I'm sure, will be expecting for his Pasifika men's team to continue to limit the opportunities that this New Zealand Māori team have had so far in the first quarter. And in the Māori huddle, you can see there Boss Edmonds down, just explaining what he expects of his team. Now, the boys here will come out with confidence. They are very much in this game and in an arm wrestle here as they get in together for their last chair before the third quarter. as both teams come back out. Kahu, what do you want to see from this New Zealand Maori men's team to get them back even on the scoreboard?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same as the first half, and just keep pressurising, keep the faith, use those God-given talents they've been given, and really get stuck into the Pasifika team, and they should go well.
Yes, we come back to you live from Kolmar Sports Centre here in Papatoetoe, Auckland, with the second half of the final match of day 3, which is a pool game between the New Zealand Maori Tāne and the New Zealand Pasifika men. We have finals day tomorrow, and as alluded to earlier, unfortunately both of these sides no longer in contention for that final, but we'll be playing them this game again tomorrow, and we'll be playing for a lot of pride here tonight. New Zealand Maori men looking for their first win of the tournament, and the New Zealand Pasifika men looking for their second, as Luke Aldred just has the ball in the back half. You can see the New Zealand Maori men may have turned up a little bit of pressure here in their press. They're just putting a little bit more pressure on the Pasifika men's side when they get it into the areas of the field that they want it to. So look at that as a tactic, and they transfer the ball well there. Steve Atkinson gives away the free hit, and they find Jan Peterson, the captain of the New Zealand Pasifika men's side. It is
well cleared by Billy Miskimmon. Good pressure by the Pasifika, but just as good defence. And
yeah, I think that fortunate there for the New Zealand Maori men, because Jacob Suchun had just received the ball coming into the circle and I think was lining up a shot. So well blown there by David Oakley. He's done a good job tonight alongside Brent Duckworth in keeping the flow of this game going, as we do see Buenamasi on the ball. He finds Xander Fraser, who just has a look at his options going forward. Happy just to keep possession here for a minute. And gets the ball back. You know, Xander Fraser has had a lot to do in the midfield today in the absence of his brother Aiden. And he's stepping up to the challenge fantastically well as he finds Adam Kailea down on the baseline. And
well defended by the New Zealand Māori team.
Yeah, a player out here who will want to play particularly well for the New Zealand Pasifika men's side is Sam Hewitt, who is of course eligible to play for both sides here and representing his Cook Islands culture against his Māori brothers, who he often does play for at National Māori Hockey Tournament. And this is him on the ball here. Just unable to link up with Jan Peterson, and they will turn defence into attack here, the New Zealand Māori men, as they go forward through Dylan Thomas, and he attempts to link up with Jordan Thomas. Fantastic little half overhead ball there. Stu Pitu just does enough to get the ball away from Hedewini Iverson through to Xander Fraser, who has ball coming forward for the New Zealand Pasifika side with Jake Suchun. Just looking for Adam Kailea, a little bit too far out in front of him. And that's some smart play there by Tuturangi Rahuruhi.
Yeah, the crowd getting vocal from both teams.
You can hear the dugouts getting very loud here in their will for free hits as possession goes both ways during this early stages of this third quarter. And we see Xander Fraser on the ball here, and he'll find Zach Buenamasi. Rich Murray with a good little intercept, but he will be trailed by Jake Suchun, so we'll find Dylan Thomas in the middle of the field.
Yeah, just going back to Sam Hewitt, Brad, he's been a great stalwart since he started playing Māori hockey many years ago. He's in possibly the twilight of his career at the moment, but he's a former New Zealand junior World Cup player, and it was great when he made himself available at one stage to come through to Fiji. He was sort of tapping into his whakapapa at that time. Great to see him.
We just see it's an enterprising play there by Adam Kailea, who did just try and link up with Sam Hewitt there on a little overhead ball, similarly to Dylan Thomas, to Jordan Thomas earlier by the New Zealand Māori men, just not coming off there. So Steve Atkinson will have possession for the Māori men at the back, and he just aligns up to Hiraka Chase, who rolls the ball into Dylan Thomas, who again has been excellent in the game today so far, with Jacob Balkake rolling forward with the ball on the left-hand side, and his attempted cross is just covered up by Luke Aldred. The New Zealand Maori team will keep possession through Hoeti Matainata, and Steve Atkinson's positioned himself across the field well if he can get the ball from Hoeti.
Hoeti, another former New Zealand under-21 player there, Brad, a number of years ago. He and Sam were probably about the same era type of style, and it's good to see them again donning the New Zealand Maori uniform.
Yes, we see an entry ball there from Te Hiraka Chase on his reverse stick. Very talented there at being able to hit that ball on the ground at power. Just not able to connect up with his Waiariki teammate, Tutirangi Rahuruhi. As we can confirm both goalkeeper changes as indicated at half-time. Harley Cooper has come on, and you can hear him very clearly, as well as Antonio Tila for the Pasifika men's side. So it changes in goal there. You can't quite see in shot here, but Harley very vocal with both Te Hiraka Chase and Stephen Atkinson at the back.
Yeah, Te Hiraka Chase, Brad, another New Zealand under-21 representative of recent time. Becoming another stalwart of our Māori junior teams as the captain, and now in recent time playing for the senior team. Yeah,
Adrian Smith there will be really disappointed, because you speak of under-21 New Zealand players, and two of them just linked up there, and Xander Fraser and Jacob Suchun, but unfortunately not under control there in the circle by Adrian Smith. So he will be disappointed in that, because he is a well-experienced player and has phenomenal skill in the attacking circle when he can get the ball under control. So the Pasifika men's team will still come away with the ball. You see Buena Masi on the ball there. Just rolls the ball into Xander Fraser. Luke Aldred just looking to find Stu Pitu on the right-hand side of the field. And that is Julius Talavau, who had a fantastic first game for the New Zealand Pasifika men, where they picked up their win.
I'm very impressed with Julius Talavau, Brad, for a big guy. He's quite versatile, nimble on his feet, and he's got some great skills too.
Yes, we see a very real opportunity there through the cross of captain Jan Peterson, and again Adrian Smith probably be disappointed he didn't get the final opportunity there, but it is cleared away through to Tutirangi Rahuruhi, and he's happy just to roll the ball back to Te Hiraka Chase for the New Zealand Maori team. It's Shaden Cox out there with the ball in his attempt to line up Rahuruhi. But we'll roll the ball over the back line, and it will be Buena Masi to bring the ball forward for the Pasifika men's side.
Just out of the boundaries of hockey, briefly, Brad, we have the likes of Hoete Mita Ngātai and Tutirangi Rahuruhi, representatives of the well-known Te Mata Rehu Kapahaka group from Waiariki.
Yeah, good save there by Harley. It called for a glove save, and it's the shot there from Upati Tuimana on a great forward pass that he has picked up, and well executed shot, well saved there by Harley Cooper. You mentioned the Kapahaka experience and skills of Hoeti and of Tutirangi. Obviously, very active in also their mahi with the Mitai Māori village in Rotorua, which is awesome to see those boys stay in touch with their whānau and with their Māori performances. So Hoeti Mitai Ngātai there on the ball. He's a relative of Leo Mitai Wells and Owen Mitai Wells, who we would have loved to see out here. Leo, a former Blackstick himself. They're all whānau there. And descendants of Koromina Mitai, the late Koromina, who very influential in hockey, Māori hockey, and especially in Rotorua. We're very fortunate to have their whānau still involved in hockey, as we do just see an opportunity here again for Upiti Tuimana. And that's cleaned up there by Hoeti Matainata, who we are speaking of. Fortunate there that the New Zealand men weren't made to pay for that mistake.
Yeah, no, tika tō kōrero, Brad, mō tō whakaro ki a Papa Mita, e te koro, haere ki te kōpō te whenua, Haere ki te kāinga tūturi whakariri tō tātou kāinga. Nō reira, kia ora Brett.
Yes, we do see his grandson Tutirangi Rauhuruhi go forward with the ball there. And unfortunately just unable to get that last pass away there in front of the goal of Teleai, who has done well enough to see off the challenge. And Jacob Suchun comes forward with the ball. Happy just to roll it out to Buenamasi and back into Fraser. Been impressed with the way Fraser and Suchun have worked together here. This is Suchun taking on the circle of the Maori team, and Hapi does well enough to clear, but only as far as halfway, where we do see big Julius Talavau on the outside of Jacob Balkake.
You know, Brad, this game hasn't faded at all. The competition out there is rife at the moment. Guys contesting possession, and it's quite fierce. Good to see.
Yeah, and I think the longer this game goes on and is as close as it is, the more we're going to see that that challenge and how physical and fast this game continues to be. And as we see, uncharacteristic turnover there from Steve Atkinson, just unable to find anybody from his team leading out to that sideline. So the Pasifika men will come forward through Xander Fraser, who under the challenge of Nick Parata just has to keep possession of the ball, and it's a great tackle there by Hoeti Matainato, who finds Hedawini Iverson going forward with the ball.
Nick Parata's been quiet, Brad, but been constructive in the middle though.
Yeah, he has been quiet, as we do see a fantastic touch tackle there by Peter Falstead on Hedawini Iverson. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Nick Parata today, but what he has done has been quality. So look to see him continue that work there in the midfield as Jacob Suchun again comes forward at the Maori team. He finds Julius Talavau and links back in with Fraser. As Buenamasi overlapped from left half. It only gets us as far as Stephen Atkinson, who clears through Taiman Iverson, and will look to play with his brother Hedawini Iverson and through Hoeti Matainatai.
Taiman is playing well. He was demanding that ball then. That's growth in his confidence over the last couple of days.
Yeah, and it's good to see, when you're the ball carrier coming out of pressure situations like that and you have teammates that really want the ball, as we do see Jacob Balkake just play the ball forward there, and it's not quite able to fall for Jordan Thomas, but they will retain possession through a long corner. And this is Taiman Iverson, who you were just speaking of, Kahu, looking to get around the defensive Xander Fraser, unable to do so initially.
Yep, he and Jacob Balkake, Hemi Hickson, they're playing really well, those young guys.
And that is Jordan Thomas, just unable to bring it under control.
Poor old Jordan's been working hard all night, Brad.
Yeah, he's got a motor on him, Jordan. He was impressive in yesterday's game in his attempt to turn over possession. As Stephen Atkinson just comes out of his free man role there to try and break down the overhead ball, judged by Brent Duckworth to not be legal. So the Pasifika men will come forward through Stu Pitu, who just looks to Luke Aldred at the back. They find Fraser in the midfield, and he again looks for Buenamasi. They've been very active down this left-hand side of the field, the Pasifika men's side. I have often said Fraser to Buenamasi to Suchun up this left-hand side of the field, so they explore the right side through Pitu. Sammy Hewitt there, probably disappointed to not get a touch, as Stu did manage to get a ball through the left-hand side of the defensive circle there. And Tufari Tohapi just happy to roll the ball into Dylan Thomas, who will earn a free hit. Had a lot of attention on him there, three Pasifika men's side players coming straight towards him.
I was just going to say, Brad, classy player. We're really lucky to have him. He's travelled all the way from Dunedin on a number of occasions. He was telling me the other day that he actually whakapapas to Tokoroa, but he's been studying down in Dunedin, and his family's actually moved down there. But yeah, Raukawa, through and through, that boy.
Yeah, excellent young man too, Dylan Thomas. Represented New Zealand at the Sultan of Johor Cup with the New Zealand Under-21 side in 2019, and was the leading goal scorer for the New Zealand team in that tournament. So, we've seen his attacking abilities, before this, and no wonder they continue. So, all credit to Dylan in the way he's been playing and continues to serve Māori hockey. Like you say, travelling up from his study in Dunedin. As Xander Fraser comes forward with the ball here, he will find Adam Kailea,
Oh, great
who's
commitment.
just unable to pull the ball in front of this Colmar crowd here.
That just epitomises the manner of this game, Brad. When you get a guy that he must have slid at least 10 or 12 feet, just in desperation to try and get that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said in the beginning of this call, though this game isn't for a spot in the final, there will be no easing up here in this game, as both teams really fighting to win the match against their Pacific or Maori brothers and get the pride points before the rematch tomorrow.
Yeah, just going back on as the Fijians come forward, pressurising the Maori goal. Just going back on Dylan Thomas, he was telling me he's doing a Masters at the moment down in Dunedin. He's just recently completed some research on Maori hockey, of which I've indicated to him I wouldn't mind latching on and delivering a number of things that I can help him with to continue on with his studies. So, yeah, he's really keen.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Awesome to see that our players are taking a further role in what it means to be Maori. So, as we just see Stephen Atkinson try and attempt to throw a little overhead on the run there past Xander Fraser, and it didn't quite clear him.
Well, what we do encourage these days for our Maori athletes in particular is to go back and source some funding from the iwis, and he's done that. And part of the agreement with the iwi is he comes home and when he gets his qualification and gives back to the iwi in whatever way he can. And I think he's talking about environmental issues within the Raukawa area. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome to see our in their study as well. So we'll look forward to what Dylan Thomas will bring back to his iwi there when he completes his study. Now, on the ball here, we've got Luke Aldred, who, again, with Stupid, have been very steady at the back. We've had a lot of play down this end of the field in the last 5 or so minutes here as we near in the end of the third quarter. Game still at 1-0 to the Pasifika men's team. And Sammy Hewitt will get his opportunity.
Shot, Harley, what a great save. At least 2 or 3 times he made contact with that ball.
We speak about the pride Harley has in keeping his goal clean, and that's, first of all, fantastic save from Sam Hewitt's shot, which was a great shot, and then the follow-up as well, Harley manages to get in the way of, and hopefully in the quarter break here we will be able to get some vision of that, because that is Harley, and that's what he can do to a game for this New Zealand Māori men's side. As we see the One Foundation replay here, there's a little bit of the Māori attack. Unfortunate there for Hedewini Iverson, just unable to break through the defence. But the Pasifika men turning defence into attack through Kailea, who just threw that little overhead, who couldn't quite link up with Sam Hewitt. And this is Xander Fraser just rolling the ball out to Luke Aldred, who has been playing well at the back for the Pasifika men. And his Shu Pitu just looks to come forward through Julius Talavau and Opiti Tuimana. This is the first little stick save there by Harley on the cross from Jan Peterson in front of Adrian Smith. And both teams had some opportunities. It's Hemi Hickson throwing the overhead down there to Turangi Rahuruhi, who just gets his way past Shu Pitu, but unable to get too much further without the goalkeeper Teleai there, just shutting everything down. He's done his job so far.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Brad, about 2009, 2008, Derek Wilshire from Hockey New Zealand approached not only ourselves, Māori hockey, but a number of indigenous hockey playing nations to participate in the Pacific Cup hockey tournament in Fiji, which included Australian country. And we did that for a number of years. As a means of initially it was so that we could sort of travel and link the indigenous cultures right throughout the Pacific, but we ended up by helping Fiji initiate the infrastructure. And this game is very similar to the games that we used to experience playing and viewing while we were in Fiji. It's nothing different. Passion, athleticism, and just great commitment, eh?
Yeah, and the awesome thing to see here is, as we did see that replay at the end of the quarter break, is somebody like Harley Cooper was likely there for those games.
Oh, definitely, and we were really proud at the time because it was at the end of both Bevan Hari and David Kusev's international career. They finally came home to New Zealand Maori, so they came as the coach and captain. Our player coach, I must add, with Bevan, and David was the captain. And they did make comment about the tournaments that we went to in Fiji were some of the best tournaments they've ever been to in their lives. And I must admit, when I opened Bevan Hari's passport, he's probably been to every continent on Earth to play hockey. So we were really rapt to have those two with us in Fiji.
Yeah, absolutely. Bevan Hari, a well-decorated athlete, especially in the Olympics and with New Zealand hockey, and he serves a role now on the New Zealand Olympic Committee and working with athletes. So, yeah, it's awesome to see him continue his love for high-performance sport, as we do see Nick Parata attempt to come through Stu Pitu there, but Stu incredibly calm and solid on the ball. We'll find Jan Peterson going forward, as well as Adam Kailea, who will take on Rani Harris. Good little bit of speed there, but unable to link back up with his captain, Jan Peterson, and the Māori men will dodge the attack there.
Still anybody's game, Brad. Still anybody's game. The pace of the game has been terrific.
Yeah, we've got a good 15 minutes on our hands here, and neither team will want to make the mistakes to concede here, as Tufari Toahapi just rolls the ball onto Sammy Hewitt's foot. It's good pressure from Sam Hewitt.
And even this time on the night, Brad, it's nearing 8:30, and there's still at least a couple of hundred people here. The car park's full, and then the entertainment is just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. As Tufari Toa just takes a little breath there, taking the free hit, and opts to play at the other end of the field. So, we'll look to put a bit of a squeeze on here. The Māori men will be searching for an equaliser. The Pasifika men up 1-0 through the penalty corner goal to Luke Aldred. But they will have the ball through Stu Pitu, as we just survey coming forward, and he finds Jake Suchun in good position. Julius Talavau just linking up with Xander Fraser. And that's Adam Kailea. Oh. Yeah, Kailea there trying to link up with Calvin Ratabuli, but just got their communication mix, and you can hear already how vocal this Pasifika men's team are in attempting to press here. They really want to find the second goal. And the New Zealand Māori men equally will want to avoid that from happening and find the equaliser themselves.
Talk about competitive, Brad. These guys are going 110k an hour, and even have enough breath to sort of try and entice the ref to change their minds about decisions made, such as the competitive nature of this game.
Yeah, you can see there, on the call from David Oakley, the Pasifika men's team very vocal in their response to it, but the whistle is blown, and they do just have to continue forward, as we do with Steve Atkinson, who finds Hedwini Iverson and puts it in behind his defender, but not enough for umpire Brent Duckworth to award a free hit. And the Māori team will remain in possession through Hemi Hickson up on the right-hand sideline there. He's got Adam Kailea in front of him. And we'll find Steve Atkinson in the middle of the field. Great little bit of pressure put on there by Calvin Ratabuli, and good enough in Stephen Atkinson to wear it away. The Māori men inching closer and closer to the goal of the Pasifika team, and as we notice out in this fourth quarter, Callum Grassick has come back on for the Pasifika men's team. So goalkeeper Antonio Tiliai had his quarter, kept his sheet clean, and they will finish the game with Grassick in goal. Now, Grassick, of course, another one of our dual eligibility players, of course named in the New Zealand Māori under-21 side for this year as well, representing Waikato Maniapoto Again, awesome to see him out here representing his Pasifika heritage in goal for the Pasifika team.
And good on them too, Brad. You know, it's good to see that in a lot of teams there's been a sprinkling of, if I can say, there's been a lot of Maori players that have got dual citizenship, and that's great to see. Good to see them playing, and be some of the better players of each team too.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just see good defensive work there from Jacob Balkake on Julius Talavau. And Stephen Atkinson will come away with the ball for the Maori team. We're just closing in on those first 5 minutes of this quarter being done, and Adam Kailea and Calvin Radabuli looking to put a bit of pressure on the Maori team at the back here. And it has paid off. It's Adrian Smith. He eyes up Jan Peterson. Instead, it's Jacob Suchun who finds the shot, but unable to get a clean one away through the defence of the New Zealand Māori men's team, which will please Boss Edmonds. Xander Fraser on the ball. Just finds Jacob Suchun. Yeah, good little shot there.
We've got another debate about the decision.
Yep, David Oakley just awarding the long corner. Pretty tough to see in there as Jacob Suchun's shot did come across pretty quickly. Rattled through a few sticks by the looks of things, and what you can see is the Pasifika men team just trying to stretch the Māori team out a little bit, enticing their strikers to press out so that they can find a little hole in behind, as Luke Aldred just finds
Jordan Thomas applying a bit of pressure on defence.
Yeah, that's Mani Punga up there. He's just rolling it to Adam Kailea. Tiarika Chase on the ball. Only gets it as far as Jordan Thomas. Does some good work there for a striker in defence.
Bit of a double team there by Jordan and Tiarika.
Yeah, no
gaining possession.
Yeah, Steve Atkinson has the ball, but just get dispossessed over the sideline, so we'll keep possession. Hemi Hickson comes over onto the ball, probably to throw over. It's a little bit of snow on that one, and it comes down just behind Luke Aldred. Cleaned up by Stu Pitu. And they again find Buena Masi on the outside. Jake Suchuna unable to make the touch pass down to Adrian Smith.
That ball went that high, Brad, but I think we lost sight of it in the lights.
Yeah, it's fortunate it did come back down for us. As Jordan Thomas does come forward, but kicks the ball under the pressure of Mani Punga. Luke Aldred will be on the ball. Nice little crossfield overhead there from Aldred. Just finds Kailea in some space. He looks for Calvin Ratabuli, but it is Hemi Hickson who comes away with the ball and wears off a couple of challenges through the middle of the field, and he's off to the races here, Hemi Hickson.
Great effort.
I think the sort of guy, once his engine starts going, will struggle to stop, as we see Dylan Thomas just roll the ball into Hedewini Iverson, who pleads for the corner, but nothing from umpire Brent Duckworth. Stu Pitu just having a look, happy to slow things down and allow his players to get in front of him, as he does link up with Calvin Ratabuli, but it's intercepted by Tufari Toahapi, who finds Hedewini Iverson going forward, and Tufari Toahapi has gone forward with some pace. Now, we're hoping to not see a sniper in the crowd. It's going to be a long way back for Tufari Toahapi, but he is in front of the goal, and if he can make something happen up there, will all be worth the run. And they do get the penalty corner, so fortunately for Tufari Toahapi, he doesn't have to make the big sprint back, and you can see hands-on Hope there. It's a big truck and it's probably out of gas, so we'll be very happy to see the double arms of Brent Duckworth allow the penalty corner so that he can take a bit of a breath and just set up for the penalty corner.
Yeah, no, great effort by all, Brad, and you're right. The big truck is, I think he's refueled now. He's standing up straight. And good luck to them in their PC.
Yeah, he's set up here for on the second bracket, Stephen Atkinson on the first bracket.
Yes, there it goes.
That will be a goal.
Equalise everybody.
That will be the goal. So good little bit of skill there from Billy Miskimmon to just tidy up the drag. And as we see on the One Foundation replay, I think it was coming for the second bracket of Hapi, but Billy Miskimmon, just a little bit of skill. And fortunately for the Maori team, comes up off the stick of Armani Punga there and up over the goal of Callum Grassick. So that levels the scores up 1-1 between the Maori team and the Pasifika team. As we can see here, yeah, maybe the truck has refueled and he's back in his home here at the back.
I think he went from a CF Bedford to a Mac now, bro.
Yeah.
He's back in action.
As we see the Pasifika men come forward with just 6 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Remember, all games will go to a penalty shootout if we have a draw at full time, and the Māori men will want to, as they've failed to so far, capitalise and score a second goal in the match.
Yeah, I think we're really lucky to have that goal, Brad. The Pasifika team have been pressurising. We've been more on the defensive than anything else, but that's the way the dice roll at times.
Yeah, as we see Nukisi come forward with the ball, but only gets as far as the clearance of Hemi Hickson to Tihiraka Chase. There's another defender going forward with the ball, and they're going forward at speed through Nick Parata.
Oh, great ball. Oh, great save.
Yeah, but we'll earn the PC. It's unfortunately not the shot Billy Miskimmon probably would have wanted after scoring the first goal. Maybe eyes lit up for the second, but it was a great ball across to Billy, and they will do enough to earn the penalty corner and a second opportunity here. Funnily enough, the gas tanks may be empty as Tufari is opting to stay back for this one and just reserve a little bit of energy for this last 5 minutes of play. But up there we will have Steve Atkinson on the first bracket, and it looks like Jacob Balkake on the second.
Well, if they can put this away, they'll really turn the tide of this game, Brad. The Pasifika side have been actually pressurising. Oh, that might not hit my car. No.
Yep, off the foot of the first
Another
runner
shot.
there. Stu Pitu got out extremely quick. Here's a great first runner for the Pasifika men's side, and just judged to hit low enough on the legs to account for a second penalty corner. So the New Zealand Māori men will have another shot at it. Same setup with Jacob Balkake on the second and Stephen Atkinson on the first, with Rahurahi to pull the ball out.
I can just tell by the tone of the crowd. Everybody's enthused about what's going on at the moment, Brad. So, oh, another PC.
Yeah, will be a third one. Pretty regulation save. Atkinson won't be stoked with his flick there, but he did get it on target, and it is well saved by Callum Grassick, but just lodged in the gear there, and in his attempt to flick it out, just did become dangerous. So the Māori men set up again and really look to push for the go-ahead goal.
Oh, goodness me, this is the fourth one.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the Māori men that it did get blown quickly by umpire Brent Duckworth as Rahurahi, who did promise fireworks, delivered there had the ball been live. But they will get another opportunity.
Yes, can hear the vocalness of the crowd stirring their players on. Great save by the Pasifika team. Under pressure for those 4 PCs.
Yeah, they've won the ball back
Māori
again.
team, look at the ball back. Yep, no, great defence.
Yeah, looked like they were appealing for maybe a foot up there off the second runner. Umpire Brent Duckworth obviously a lot closer than us and not obliging to that plea, but the Māori team still have possession. And it will be another penalty corner by Tuterangi Rahurahi, who's just inside the circle and earned the free hit, which will bring across the 5th penalty corner we've seen in the last couple of minutes here. Now, with the time running down and we do have just more than 2 minutes on the board, these opportunities could be costly for the outcome of this game for either side. So Pasifika will want to continue defending well, but the New Zealand Māori men will really want to put one away here.
Definitely a change in fortunes at the moment, Brad, with the Māori team are exerting so much pressure on the Pasifika team. And there it goes.
And as we see straight down the line of that goal, that's an absolute ripper. It's gone in the roof there by Steve Atkinson, who looked like he had a little bit more time. As we see the One Foundation replay here, we'll go to the first bracket. It's trapped by Thomas, and we see Stephen Atkinson with a little bit more time just to eye up the top of the goal there, and it goes in over Grasic's head, which puts the Maori team ahead 2-1, but the Pasifika try and start quick. Foiled again by Atkinson, who has been great today and across all the games for the Maori team. And the Pasifika men team comes straight back. They have just under 2 minutes to do so.
Tomorrow's going to be a cliffhanger, Brad, against these two teams again. This game has been enthralling right from the get-go, and nobody's letting up at all.
Yeah, if we see
it's been a great spectacle.
If we see anything like this tomorrow, it's going to be a cracker of a game, and I'm sure these boys will. Both these teams will be itching to get back on the turf and continue this battle tomorrow. But at the moment, with just a minute left to play, the New Zealand Maori. Hot on defence, has a fantastic touch there by Peter Falstead, but an even better save by Harley Cooper. For our young goalkeepers out there, that is an absolute lightning save by Cooper, and will likely save his team the game, though they have turned the ball back over the Pasifika team. They will come forward through Luke Aldred, who earns the free hit just outside the circle. Won't be long here for the Pasifika team.
Less than 20 seconds to go, Brad. Not really counting, but hoping.
Yeah, this is Falstead here, who just gets in behind his own player, unfortunately, because he was on a bit of a tear. Dylan Thomas just opting to go into the corner to try and run the ball and the clock down. And he will do just well enough to secure the New Zealand Māori team their first win of the tournament, and they will be happy with a much improved performance. Our final score 2-1 to the New Zealand Māori team, goals to Billy Miskimen and to Stephen Atkinson, and for the Pasifika men's side, goal to Luke Aldred. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that is a precursor for tomorrow's third and fourth match, which we will bring back to you live from Kolmar here in Papatoetoe at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, I've been joined on the call by Kahuripia. Thank you for all your expertise again, Uncle. I've enjoyed the game. I hope you did too.
Oh, well, it lived up to all those expectations that we spoke about earlier, Brad. Typical, Pasifika Māori flair and mana to boot. Yes, looking forward to tomorrow. Can't wait. Thank you very much, everybody, and good to be back on deck with you, Brad.